Hey friends, we are going to be making some of our own homemade ink sprays. Ink sprays can get really expensive, and I'm going to show you a really inexpensive way to do it. Now, the disclaimer is these aren't going to be as pigmented and vivid as some of the alcohol inks because we're using really inexpensive dollar store paint to make them. But you can do a quick switch with this ingredient to upgrade the spray and still make it affordable. So I'm going to show you that too. But first I'm going to show you the recipe for this, and then I can show you how to make a better quality ink. And we'll also test it out on some watercolor paper so you can see what it looks like. So this is the finished product. They settle a little bit, but then you just mix them up and they're no big deal. Actually, I will spray these right now so you can kind of see if you want to watch and see what we're doing. So this one, obviously pink. So there's that one. And then I'll spray some of the blue on the other side. This blue is pretty vibrant. It's pretty cool for how inexpensive this is. So I'm just gonna let this sit off and dry. But this is just the product that we're going to be making tonight. So I'm hoping that you will enjoy this and then get creative and kind of take this recipe, so to speak, and kind of make it your own, and maybe you'll come up with something even better than I did. So I looked for a lot of DIY things for making your own alcohol sprays, and a lot of them were super duper complicated and pulling Sharpies apart to get the permanent ink out and soaking them for 24 hours and all that. You guys know me. I like things a little bit more quick and easy than all that. So this is what I come up with, and I really like how it's turning out, especially for the price point. And so let's dig in. So what you're going to need from the dollar store, not much. First of all, you're going to need to pick up these sets, or you can order spray bottles on Amazon. Now, the frustrating thing at my dollar store anyway is to get one spray bottle, you have to buy 2 bottles with just regular old caps on them. So I've got to figure out a good craft project. Leave any suggestions in the comments on what to do with these bottles and what to keep in them, because now I have a ton because I've been buying it for this. But if you buy spray bottles on Amazon, they're about $1 a piece anyway. So you might as well get these bottles and figure out a project for them. So I got these at the dollar store, and we're only going to be using the spray bottle part of this. So you're going to want the spray bottle. You're going to want to get a little bottle of Mod Podge. Doesn't matter whether it's gloss or matte or anything. You could also, if they have any kind of liquid glue would work, like an Elmer's glue or a fake dollar store Elmer's glue. You just need a liquid glue like that. You're going to need to get a bottle of rubbing alcohol. Look, I found one use for these bottles. I put some rubbing alcohol to keep in my art room in a little bottle. So they have these at the dollar store for $1. Well, a big bottle of rubbing alcohol. And then you're going to want to pick up these paints. These are just in their kid craft supplies, poster paints, and you're going to want 2 of them. I experimented with doing just 1 per bottle, 1 pot of paint per bottle, and the colors aren't as vibrant. It makes a huge difference to go ahead and get 2 of these. So since I've already made blue and pink, let's do green tonight. That sounds fun. Let's do green. So what you want to do is just open these things up. Let me see, maybe my camera needs to be up a little higher here so you can see a little bit more of what's going on. I don't know. I tried to do this live and my phone was acting all funky, and you guys ever have one of those days? I think every human does, but my goodness, it's been one of those days. And then even my camera didn't want to behave. So anyway, we're having fun tonight though. We're gonna make these. Okay, so, oh, I forgot a couple of things that I use. I have some cups that I use to mix things in, but hey, let's actually try it without the cups. And I have some popsicle sticks that I use for mixing, but it also comes with these really cruddy paintbrushes, so that works too. So what we're going to do is take the green paint out, and actually I'm going to put a teeny bit of water in the bottom. This is just plain old tap water that I found another use for a bottle for. So we're just going to pour, and I'm going to try to capture it on camera. I'm just going to pour a little bit in the bottom so that the paint doesn't totally stick to the bottom. Then what we're going to do, we're going to scoop out this paint. And actually, I'm going to put this in a little bucket so I don't make a ginormous mess, because that's easier to wash out. We'll see if it works mixing it in the bottle here, because I've been mixing them in a little teeny plastic cup. But if we can eliminate that step, then it makes it even easier, right? All right, so I'm just scooping out all of this paint from this tiny little tub. I know it's not very much. And then, see, it's empty-ish, empty enough. Then we're going to get the next one. We're going to take the green from the same one. Now you could get kind of wild and crazy and mix colors. And once you know how to do this, you could do this with any acrylic paints you already have at home. You don't have to go to the dollar store, but I was starting from scratch thinking, what if you had absolutely nothing in the paint department at home and you wanted to do this technique? Just so you guys know, I also tried this with dollar store watercolor paints, because you can use watercolor paints as your pigment. The paints from the dollar store are terrible. Don't even try to do this with watercolors from the dollar store. Totally not worth your time. They just make a mess. Takes forever. It's kind of a ridiculous process. So I did test these paints and the watercolor paints. These are way more worth your time and your $2. So I'm just going to swirl this around. Now we've got 2 little pots of green paint in there. Swirl it around a little bit to mix it up just a tad. Then what you want to do, and for people who really like to measure, I'm sorry, I'm terrible with measuring. Drives my husband crazy, but I'm more of a just dump and stir kind of cook, and apparently dump and stir crafter. So, but I'll show you kind of from the side here how much glue I'm going to put in. So this is just Mod Podge. Again, it could be Elmer's glue. You're just going to give it a couple of squirts. Can you guys see that? How it's just kind of going in. And what this does, I'm running out of Mod Podge. What this does is it helps the paint adhere to whatever you want to spray it on. So instead of it just being kind of this drippy watercolor that goes just all over, it gives it some tack to stick to things, especially if you want to use this in a multimedia sense, and spray it on different things like cardboard or in an art journal or something like that. So just a little bit, maybe, okay, if you have to measure things, I would say maybe a teaspoon or 2. You don't need much glue at all. You just want to add a little bit. And in fact, if you add too much, it will clog up your sprayer. So probably not 2 teaspoons. I would say 1 teaspoon for a bottle this size is good enough. Then alcohol, I add quite a bit. I would say probably more like a tablespoon or 2. Again, this doesn't have to be a precise recipe. So you can see I'm just squirting this in here. I'm going to fill up the bottle about halfway at this point with rubbing alcohol. And then we're going to top that mixture off. Kind of feel like I'm at a bar making drinks or something. With just more regular tap water, but we don't want to fill the bottle all the way for a couple of reasons. One is it'll water down your pigments, and since these are cheap paints, they're not super highly pigmented in the first place. And 2, we need room to kind of shake things around and mix things up. Okay, so now you're just going to take this. Look at that. I don't think we needed a little Dixie cup. Well, we just eliminated one more item from the dollar store list. You can just mix it all right in here. And you mix it up, and guys, this is it. This is the magic. How's that for easy? And then it's kind of instantly ready to go. And you can shake this up over time. There's a little bit of glue left on the side I can see, but all that will dissolve together, like I said, in time. So let's take another piece of watercolor paper here and see what it looks like. And you want to, again, this, I don't know if you can kind of see this consistency. It's like really thick water. It's more on the watery side than it is on the thick side. So that's why you don't want to add too much glue, because it'll glob up. I tried that. I also tried adding glitter from the dollar store. That did not work either, because the glitter was not fine enough and it globbed up the whole thing. So if you want to try glitter, you're gonna have to find some ultra fine glitter. Or what I'm gonna do is just use this spray, and since it has glue in it, you can put glitter on top of this spray, and then you're gonna have glitter that's not just kind of all stuck in the color. You're gonna have glitter on top of your project. So we could even try that here in a sec. So look at that. How fun is that? Okay, and I actually happen to have some glitter right here. So let's see. We'll put it on while it's wet. This is dollar store glitter. And this is not the one I tried. This one's really chunky, but I tried a different glitter and it just didn't work. So this, I have tried these sprays in my Bible. For those of you who do Bible art journaling, just make sure you have something underneath you, like a Bible mat, or I use these placemats from the dollar store that I cut in half. And then you can use your heat tool to dry it. So just protect your surfaces, but you can use this in your Bible. So let's dry it here with a heat tool really quickly. Sorry if I'm making you seasick with the camera there. And we'll see if I haven't tried this experiment with the glitter, so we'll see how it works. Not totally dry. Let's see what it's doing here. What? I want to do it over this. See if glitter comes off. Oh, look at that! No glitter came off. You guys, check it out. It works for a glitter adhesive. Yay! Look at that. How fun is that? And here's the other one that's drying. It kind of looks really fun, like you can, like this one I sprayed a lot, so it kind of pooled, and when it dries it'll have these kind of variegated ombre effect, and the pink turns out really pretty also. So, and here's your green with the two little of the paint pots of green. Now if you want to up your game and do this with something that's a little more expensive, you can use acrylic paints. Let me grab a few things here. So there's a couple of things you can do. You could use just some acrylic paints that really aren't that expensive, like the Handmade Modern line at Target. That's only $1.99. You could just squirt a little bit of that paint in. These I think are 79 cents at Michael's. So those would be another way to add color, because those are pretty decent, fun little paints. I mean, way better than these dollar store ones, so I would think the pigment is good. But then what I'm gonna try next is I've been getting the, what is it called, Sketch art box. I've been getting is it Sketch? Sorry, it's eluding me right now. Anyway, those monthly art boxes, I've been getting one of them, and 1 month it came with this Dr. Phil Martin's watercolor, liquid watercolor paints. Now this stuff is gorgeous, and it comes with a little medicine dropper, and it is super highly pigmented. So this I am going to make into an alcohol spray. In fact, let's see if we can get some glue out of here. Let's see if we can, let's make one actually. Okay, so this, just so you guys can see what I'm using, It's called Dr. Phil Martin's Fine Art Watercolor. This is in Blue Aqua. They are the most gorgeous colors. I prefer pan watercolors because I'm a messy person, but for a project like this, these are just amazing. Here, I'm going to show you what they look like. This is just 100% pigment. It's so dark. I mean, this is super highly pigmented stuff. That almost looks black, but it is not black. Let me see if I mix it around, if you can see the teal come through ever. There we go. No, you can't see it in this lighting very well. Okay, well, it's a beautiful blue green, like staring into the ocean kind of thing. So I don't think it's going to take much of this. You could also use acrylics or watercolors that come in a tube and squirt paint in there. So let's go ahead like I did. I started with some water. So let's start with a little bit of water again. So now we're making our expensive ones. These dollar store ones, so what? We had Mod Podge rubbing alcohol and 2 pots of paint and a bottle. So $1, 2, 3, 4, $5, and you can make, out of all that, you can make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 colors. So, so you're going to need 6 bottles, 6 colors. It's about $1 a bottle, but once you have like the rubbing alcohol and the glue, it goes farther. So these are a nice, inexpensive way to make your own little India inks. Okay, so let's try some of this. Oh, I can't wait till this hits the water, you guys. This one's going to be pretty. I'm going to try to get my hand out of the way so you can see. Oh, that's 2 drops. Look at that. Oh my goodness, you guys. This is one of my favorite colors in the whole world because it reminds me of the ocean. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of glue again, if I have any left. Actually, I think I bought some more, but I might have enough left here. I think I bought some more. Let me check. Yep. Okay, never fear. More Mod Podges here. So I've made, well, and I've experimented and thrown away some. So the Mod Podge ended up, it would go far enough to make probably 6 to 8 colors, just so you know. So like if you want to make all 6 of those paint pots of colors, 1 bottle of Mod Podge, just think about dividing it over 6 spaces, and you'll have enough in 1 bottle of Mod Podge to do that. I ended up with 3 sprays that I really liked and a number that I washed down the drain. So I'm giving you only the recipes that I ended up liking. The best combo with the most inexpensive stuff possible. Okay, and it, like I said, it'd be even more inexpensive if you have stuff that you already have at home, like watercolor paints or acrylic paints. So we're just going to add a teeny bit more glue. Then we're going to add rubbing alcohol. I'm going to fill the bottle up to about halfway with rubbing alcohol, maybe a little bit more. Because they are alcohol inks, right? So there must be a reason why we put a lot of alcohol in them. And then add more water. Then I'm going to shake it up and test it and see if I want it more pigmented. Since I haven't played with this one, I don't know quite how much pigment is going to show. And the glue, if you use Mod Podge or any other kind of white glue like an Elmer's glue, it will interact with your color. So you could try looking for a clear liquid glue too if you don't want to have to worry about kind of that white showing through. Okay, so let's flip this over. Let's spray and see what this does. Okay, that's pretty. It's like a baby blue right now, but I don't want baby blue, folks. So I added in 2 drops, so let's add in 3 more. 1, 2, 3. Oh, let's do 4. Let's go crazy. 4 drops. So now we're up to 6 drops of this watercolor ink. It's not really ink. It reminds me of ink because it looks like ink for a fountain pen. It's just watercolors. Okay, let's see. Ooh, yeah, look at that. This is fun. We're playing tonight, guys. I had a rough week. This is much more fun. Oh, that didn't change the spray much. Well, that's interesting because look at the difference. This is the dollar store paint and it's so much brighter. I didn't think it would take very much of this pigment to really color the water. It's going to take more pigment to get to the color I want, which is fine because I haven't been using this for anything else, but I just wanted to make this project inexpensive. So that's an interesting experiment, guys. But if you want a lighter color, you can have a lighter color, or I wonder if I just skipped the glue, then it would be more like a stain. And it wouldn't turn the paint white. You know, it wouldn't interact with the paint color and make it more white than this actual beautiful blue that it is. So that's something you can try. And then it would just be like an ink stain. It obviously wouldn't hold glitter or things like that, but it might make a really pretty stain that you could use as a background wash on things without the Mod Podge. That might be an experiment I do on another day, but until then, we're gonna keep dumping this beautiful paint because I'm not using it for anything else right now. Because and what I like about this is it's not adding any kind of thickness like the Mod Podge, you know, makes it a little bit more gloppy. And these paints from the dollar store, these little paint pots that we used are thick, but this is a liquid paint, so it's not adding any of that kind of bulk the more color we add. Now, if we were adding more and more paint, we'd have to thin out this solution. So if you add paint and it's not as dark as you want, you're gonna have to take some of the solution out of the bottle, add paint, and then I would add more alcohol and more water to it. But since this is a liquid paint, again, it's not adding bulk like those, so we don't have to worry about it. Okay, now we're getting to the color I want. That's pretty. Okay, now I'm happy. That was 10 drops, if you're wondering. If you happen to have Dr. Phil Martin's watercolor ink in your house and you want to do this, if you add Mod Podge to it, you're gonna need to add about 10 drops of the paint to help kind of take away from that white that got in the way. Okay, if you guys have questions, please leave them in the comments. If you come up with some really fun ways to do this project, like you figure out some other fun recipes, feel free to leave those in the comments too, or make your own tutorial and let me know, because I'd love to see what you guys come up with. I just wanted really fast, really cheap, and really easy, because I don't want to invest a whole lot of money in alcohol inks if I'm not going to use them. And I do art journaling. I haven't added really any art journaling tutorials on this channel yet, but I do art journaling, and this is a big thing in mixed media stuff. So I wanted to come up with a solution to play with until I decide if I really am going to use all the sprays or not. Oh, okay, that is gorgeous. I think I'm going to get addicted to these, but I think I'm going to like making my own. And then if you invest in the paint, then you've got this beautiful watercolor paint too, or acrylic paints that you can use for other projects. So, sorry guys, I'm an idea person, and when I get ideas rolling, I don't mean to overwhelm you. I'm just spitting out all these ideas that are coming to me, but I will quit for now and let you guys experiment with this and leave me your results in the comments. Tell me how it's working for you. I hope you have fun with this. And the more you spray, you can let it drip. Look, we're gonna let it drip. Oh my gosh, that is so pretty. Okay, this was fun. Okay, thanks you guys for checking this out, and I hope it was helpful, and I hope you have fun with it. Bye.